Hello and welcome back to the Iron Man WoW challenge with me, Sheppy. It's a bit of a mouthful. Right, we're back in glorious 1080p, and oh my god, the colours are so vibrant, etc, etc. So, I think this recording started a little bit after the previous one. I don't think much has been missed out, judging by the XP bar. But essentially we're here doing the first in a very small chain of kind of like demon Burning Legion quests here in Hellfire Peninsula. And the first one is we have to kill some of these Ganarg servants. These little kind of hunchback gnoll type things. Not particularly tricky, to be completely honest with you. That's fine, that's how we want to keep it, not particularly tricky. We don't want any more Warg Masters. But, you know, it's never as we want it really, is it? So, these little encampments that we've got here are actually fairly kind of condensed. There's a lot of mobs there, we've got some patrols. There's a lot of potential for shit to go wrong in an instant. But we've got food, so that's nice. We can have a little snack on the mountainside when we get peckish. But the thing that's complicated about this is we've got these kind of turrets that look like rockets with faces on. We don't need to kill those, although there is a quest where we do need to kill them later. It'd be nice to have them both at the same time. But each one of those is guarded by one of these Ganarg servants, so we have to... It's probably best we just, you know, get both of those at the same time, I guess. It's not too challenging though. We need, is it 10 of those? So we'll get through this we'll get through fairly quickly. In the meantime, enjoy the wondrous vista across Hellfire Peninsula with the Fell Reaver was just walking behind a hill. It's very picturesque. Yeah, he can stay over there and all, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, we're just going to wait for Razor Saw to trot on by, and then we'll get our last servant. At this point here, one of the things that's really kind of bothered me about like the default user interface, and in hindsight I still have this problem in my main interface, but it doesn't bother me so much. But the problem I have is that I can't actually see how much longer the mend pet ability has on my pet, because it's a buff on my pet basically, and it doesn't show up on my pet on the unit frame. I think that's only showing debuffs. Maybe there's a way I can turn that on. If you know how I can turn debuffs, buffs onto minions or pets, then yeah, please let me know. Because at the minute it's a bit of a pain. I don't want to have to keep refreshing mend pet when it's already up, because it's a cooldown. So one of the things I was doing there is it does show up if I mark my pet as a focus. I don't really want to have to do that, because it's just going to get in the way and duplicating effort. Right, anyway, enough rambling. So this next quest is we're going to set fire to these tank turret cannon, western cannon turret things. Now these quests were kind of made a lot easier because we can use a flying mount, because we can just fly there and sit on top, and we don't have to worry about clearing the way or riding across the road or any of that stuff. It's very much easy mode. A perfect example of how TBC is much easier since they've given us flying mounts at level 60 instead of making us wait until level 70. Okay, so as I was just mentioning a couple of minutes ago, we're now going to go and do the next in this little quest line of Burning Crusade, and we have to now shoot these cannons, and it's a bit of a pain, if I'm being honest with you. especially coming to this particular little zone. Those cannons are dotted all over the place, and really I've picked the worst one to come to, because look how many mobs there are. Look how easy it would be for me to just aggro the whole camp. Very, very easy. We've just a Moarg Forge Fiend aggroed there just as he was walking on by, and another servant aggroed as he was just walking on by. So that gets a little bit hectic, but nothing we can't handle. I think it's at one point I may do a little episode, because I'm sure there are other people that are doing the Iron Man challenge and would like some tips not spread across 60 episodes, but rather like macros and things like that that might prove useful. So one of the things I've started using since I've recorded this, I'm not using it currently, but I've got a macro. I've macroed in men pet, and essentially it also casts cower if it's on cooldown as well. And cowers, I think it's a 40% reduction in damage incoming. 45-second cooldown, sorry, and that definitely helps. So the incident with the I'm now calling it an incident with the Wargmaster could have well, it wouldn't have been quite as hectic, because the pet wouldn't have taken so much damage, but it probably would have proved useful right about now when I've just aggroed 5 mobs, I think, at once. And to make matters worse, the cannon we'd just killed is now back up again, and my pet is nearly dead. He seems to be holding out. He's dead, and I'm doing a runner. I'm out of there, and Feigned Death was on cooldown, but we've gotten out of there. Like I said, that was a really bad zone to go to do that quest. This outcropping here to the east it has exactly the same mobs, but they just, you know, they're not as tightly packed. It's a much better. So we're going to just finish off the rest of that quest, having revived our pet. Okay, so if we can just find a decent place to land, this looks good when everything is zoned in. We'll ignore Razor Saw there in the background. We're trying to avoid him. Now, one thing to point out here is I only need one of these turrets. A Fell Cannon Mark 1. And there you go, I've completed the quest. I've not noticed that I've completed the quest. I'm too concerned about lining up my my user interface to even realise that I've done the quest. Right, so I'm going to just continue on and killing stuff here because I'm an idiot, basically. Have I realised yet? No, I've still not realised. And I very nearly fell off there as well, so that would have been that probably would have killed me. So that would have made me a double idiot right there if I'd died. But still, you know, the way I see it, if I miss things like that, it's still free XP to kill these things, and they're going down relatively quickly, so it's not a big deal. Right, now, why did he fly up and then just land again? That doesn't make any sense. Well, it's just an easy way to get your pet back up to full health. You've got two options really. You can either heal it with Men Pet, or you can feed it with Feed Pet, which I think does 50% healing over 10 seconds if out of combat. Or you can dismiss your pet, which is 2-second cast, I think. Could be wrong, but I think it's 2-second cast. Or we could fly up, which 1.5 second cast to mount up, fly up in the air, and then land again. And that has the same effect as doing a dismiss and recall pet. and when it comes back it has full health. So that's a little tip there for you. Right, so we had another in the chain quest there, which was to we'll come back and do that later, but another one of these kind of demons and doorways and those kind of quests. I don't know why I didn't do it. I've got odd memories, I think, of Hellfire, just of when I leveled up through this zone, doing it normally, and I don't know what it is. I don't particularly like the zone, because some of it used to be really hard, and I think that next step of quests was one of those quests that I thought was really hard, and therefore I would leave it until later. I don't really want to spoil what happens for you, but it was fine. So we're just going to pick up the next set of quests now. I think we're going to go to zeth'bore again. Zeth'bore must burn! Indeed, it must. As I was mentioning previously, you know, don't like these orcs, so we're going to kill them, then we're going to burn them. Which seems a little bit unfair. We've also got the Eyes of Grillock. You might have seen the eyes previously. They're green orbs that are floating around. I wanted to say balls, but I thought, you know, it'll just get a cheap laugh if I say balls. Green orbs that are flying around, and I think there's a warlock spell that is similar, or they're very... sorry, they used to be in vanilla. I've not played my warlock since then. And we just have to kind of zap that and then take it back to the quest giver. But before we do that, we have yet another kind of Void Walker. Void Baron Galaxis. He's a Baron. That's pretty good, isn't it? Now, I've mentioned previously, I always go on about these Void Walkers, now I know nothing about them. Now, but I thought Barons were related to Elementals. There are other instances of elementals called barons in this game, and yeah, I thought they were like the one step down from the most powerful elemental of that type. For example, Ragnaros is an elemental lord, and then he has some kind of deputies. You know, when he's got a day off, the deputies will take over, and I thought they were the barons, but they're not elementals, they're demons. Again, if anyone knows, let me know. Right, so what we're doing here, we're in zeth'bore again, so we need to, we've got these kind of peons, you can see them in the background. I think I might be checking Wowhead at this point, because I wasn't really sure. But if we kill those guys, they drop a torch, we can light them on the forge, which you can also see in the background. And then we need 4 of those, and we then need to set fire to the buildings. And we just picked up a torch there. There's the forge. This quest actually isn't that tricky. We're over the worst of zeth'bore. With this one, I just wasn't entirely sure what I needed to do, rather than... Oh, there's an eye, there's an eye! Get the eye! Annoyingly, our pet will attack the eye, but thankfully we got it in time. We've now got we've absorbed the ball, and we've got... we've got that kind of green glow on us, and we have to get that back to the quest giver before the buff runs out. Nothing too tricky. Some of the laughs sound amazing sped up. Right, let's head back to zeth'bore and let's do that quest. Interestingly, this level is going, it's just flying by. We're level 83, is it? Already, we're doing really well. The first level in Outland, it's kind of like, actually it's it's about a whole level since we got here, and it's gone particularly well. Only one minor incident with the Wargmaster. I'm thinking, yeah, it's going alright. We're doing good. We've still got loads to do in this zone as well, so that's why I'm keeping everything in fast forward, just because there's so much content to get through. And the way I see it, this is the way I've seen it since I started doing the Iron Man challenge. People want to see me die more than anything, and so where there's moments where I could die, then I will put that into normal speed and I'll explain what's going on there, or maybe I'll have my actual commentary as it was recorded at the moment. Normally when I'm about to die or have a hairy moment, I'm pretty quiet in game. And there we go, we've got the eastern hovel burnt. There's 3 other structures that we need to get burnt. Burn in for this quest. Wow, too much Warcraft has made me speak like an idiot, obviously. And somebody's already set this one on fire, which was good because I didn't know where it was, the building that we needed to torch, and he kind of showed us the way, which is nice. So we can do that as well. I think we can do that as well. Did I set that on fire? I don't think I set that on fire. We've got the stable to do next, another hovel, and I think the main building in this base is what we have to do. I think you can probably tell I'm going a little bit slow here. I ain't taking risks, basically. Okay, 2 more left. We have 2 more torches. I'm not really sure where the hovel is, but it is that building there. That's just bottom of the screen. Good place to land would be nice. Okay, so let's burn that one. For some reason, we've actually run out of torches. I think what happens is the torches have a time limit on them, so they actually they will kind of burn themselves out if you take too long, which I think is exactly what we did. We're too slow, so we have to go back and annoyingly clear these guys out again. Okay, we've got 4. That should be plenty. I think some of the things have respawned though, rather annoyingly. And here we go, the patrols and random ads are cropping up again. We've got a totem in there. We've lost a big chunk of health. It's not too bad though. We use the flight trick there to get our cat fully topped up on his health. Okay, the way into this building, like, again, at level 60 when TBC was valid, this used to be pretty tough to get into that doorway because there's a lot of mobs near there. And if you just rode in, you would pull them all. And my torches are going to expire. I really don't know what I'm doing at this point. I'm going to Wowhead by the looks of it, and I'm going to check because I don't know where the last building is. But anyway, after a lot of faffing around and lighting up more torches, we get the barracks burnt as well. So that's nice. And again, I'm making a bit of a mistake here because I think I have to go inside to kill the named mob inside, and thankfully we can just fly straight in there now without any problems, so we don't have to pull all of those mobs on the outside. But anyway, as I was saying, we don't need to come in here. I don't know what I'm doing in here. I've just basically not read the quest text, and I've not even looked at the objective tracking on the map, which would have told me exactly where to go, and it's not into this building. So a bit stupid of me, that, really. And yeah, I was expecting, hang on a minute, Grillock Dark Eye, surely that's this guy. And it's not. So let's head back out and look at the map to see where we actually have to go. There we go, we can mount up there and fly away. Okay, so the dude we want is actually in this cave near the cauldron we were using in the previous episode. Grillock, in air quotes, Dark Eye. Again, not too much of a challenge. He did have a couple of guards, and he's got more guards sitting outside the cave, but no big trouble there at all to kill him. So that's all good. I'm just checking to see if there's any crates in there or chests that we could use. And that's it. Done for those quests. Zeth'bore quests, I think, are done. Although I vaguely remember there being a quest to kill the guy in the barracks. But maybe that's an Alliance only quest. I can't remember. And unfortunately not quite enough to ding. Although we do have a quest inside this place here, which maybe that'll make us ding. Goblin quest. Mine the Fell Reaver. I'm just checking my miss chance there. And yes, we've dinged to level 61. It's going so well. Right, I shall see you next time for more Iron Man WoW Challenge. See you then.